Okay, let's shrink a bit, and let's move the like a rabbit. I like my back against the wall. I feel more secure. I feel secure, slightly secure, not secure, but secure, kind of, almost secure. Um, I had my Asda order arrive early yesterday instead of between 8 and 10. It was around 7:30, I think. Then I received a text saying Mohammed is on his way about, I don't know, half an hour now after it arrived, thinking that there may even be they've somehow duplicated the order, because I read, I think somehow that happened to someone with Asda specifically, I think. But anyway, so I have some playing cards, some Top Trumps cards, and a giant-ish Pikachu cake, all for the neighbours. I was storing the cake in the fridge, even though I don't think there's any chocolate or anything, but it says to store in a cool, dry place, and I think cakes are supposed to be in a cool, dry place. But so I've moved it to a cupboard. It's such a warm day, and it was a warmish night yesterday, I think. So hopefully it will be okay, but hopefully her and the kids will like that. So that was yesterday's ending, and so in between work I was trying seemingly to know how to get my yoga book to charge. It's having charging problems. I think it's the lead, because the phone sometimes it seems to have less sensitivity. I can easier get it to charge, but no. The thing is with the tablet, it's the icon flashes, which just means that the LED is working, of course. But it's then it stops after a while. But sometimes I've got it to stay on longer, implying that it still charges. I think it may be a case of having to like I had to do with some of my old phones, sort of, you create a complicated trap where you lay your book on top and then push it against the wall and etc. And you have to very slowly pull back, otherwise the connection will be lost. But then you end up wiggling the DC jack thing inside, and if that wasn't broken before, it will be now. So hopefully it's just the lead, and I can just. Well, I actually have more leads somewhere, but they're stored away, so I need to dig them out and see if I can get something to. If I can get a proper charge, because it's probably messing up the charge cycle, the battery itself even. I think that happened to my first tablet, which I still wish to resurrect, of course, but that's in an even more dire straits. I actually got it to turn on my yoga book the other day, and of course there was so little power it just cut off, but I am hopeful. The Lenovo logo appeared, but yeah, so I just need to know that it's charging, and I'm having to leave it for 600 hours, whatever, so it gets its charge. But it's just trying to get to that stage where it's actually charging properly, long term. And I did not wish to mess the and I did a full discharge, whatever. I held the battery, the power switch on, even though there was no power to do it. Like you do with laptops, you press down the switch when the battery is removed to discharge the electrical current. I did that in case that helped at all. And and then leave. Don't even attempt to charge it for hours on end, just so it completely. And maybe that would have worked if I had a good lead. So I think it's the lead that's definitely. I don't think I need to look into resetting the tablet. I think that's premature. I think it's. I must dig my other leads out soon, and see how my phone reacts. I think my phone's jack may be somewhat damaged, but it developed very early on, if that is the case. I think it's the lead, and it's just I mean, it's the common denominator. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's nothing wrong with phone and tablet. Of course, if you keep jiggling about, then all three are damaged, and the phone and tablet are damaged as well as the lead. But I don't think the lead's in it, so I think it's a fairly old. Actually, it's from my Blackview. That's the brand of my behind my phone. So it's from my phone. Supposedly it would be a perfect fit, you might say. But yeah. I'm going to dig for one, I believe. So yeah, I also have some fudge. I was thinking, did I buy that for the I don't know. I was about to say music video. Maybe I will do a music video later. For this taste testing video I'm about to embark on, but I'm not sure. I can't remember. Maybe I'll give it to my neighbours or try some later. But yeah. So I have plenty of things left over here as well. But I hope the kids really like the Pikachu cake. It's a really nice. It's a raspberry and something or other, maybe strawberry. I don't know, just raspberry. But it's a cute Pikachu cake. Obviously it's manufactured. It's not going to be like a homemade cake, but it's just something I thought as a nice thank you present. Oh, that reminds me of something. It's right down. I had an interesting dream again, by the way. I was sort of in my house, but things blur. It's like my grogginess and tiredness, which takes you into sleep, was also present in sleep. So within the state, I was sort of I was awake but acting as though I was asleep, I guess. So I'm not sure if the neighbours are awake, and being extremely shy, and I was thinking, what happens if I knock on the door and she opens the door? And of course that's the general idea, but you understand what I'm saying. Oh dear, what if she opens the door and wishes to talk to me, which is a good thing, but it can be intimidating. But I wrote a thank you note as well, so that helps to illustrate things. In case you feel unable to express, but yeah, she might open the door and I may have to speak, and I may be expected to speak, but that's not. It's just when you're anxious about things and such. So the taste testing video. So these things are purchased from Asda, and I've probably tried 2 out of 4, maybe 3 out of 4 of these. Coincidentally, all the actually no, they're Thorntons, the other books, but Linton Thornton have probably tried all 3 of these. I think my mother used to purchase things like this, strawberry and I could buy her some Wright's chocolate truffles with a smooth melting filling. So I'm a little tired, but I'm waking up. Not quite as tired as actually it's 11:13 a.m. already. It's not quite as tired, exhausted as I was yesterday. I actually managed to get to sleep a bit earlier, and I forgot to take my medication. So although that's bad in some ways, it meant I suffered less side effects, and I was less groggy and incoherent in some ways. I remembered this morning to take my medication. I remembered orange. I think these will be my favourite. There's something a bit strange about strawberries and chocolate, something unsettling. But in fact, I think it's the fruit in general. But raspberries okay. They have a nice squidgy sort of offering, and they have a fur-like texture. I don't know. I've not eaten them in a long while, but. So these I was talking about in the previous video, they had sold out at Asda, but they were in stock this time. Supreme Jaffa Cake. So obviously they have the license from McVitie's, or Weddell may even be owned by McVitie's, so they just licensed their subsidiary, maybe made in Poland. Prince, I think I have had these before as well actually, so maybe 4 out of 5. I'm pretty something similar, maybe pretty much same recipe but a different brand under license or something, I'm not sure, but I think I've tried something under a different brand. Chocolate taste sauce of fibre. Prince commits to a nutritional approach for an improvement of the biscuit. It's biscuit rich in wheat, suitable for vegetarians. Good. An adapted portion for a balanced snack could be what? I don't know if you want to write. I know I'm tired, but alright, okay. Biscuit, apple, and is that water or milk? That's water. Okay. The pictogram was confusing me. Can you find them all? The different visuals on biscuits inside the pack. Okay, so those are collecting aspects. There's obviously some sort of, not foam, but a card inside. It feels like it's one of those, you just open up and everything rolls out. Thornton's Moments to share. I'm not sure what I think these were around £4. These I think £1. These maybe £1.50 at a guess. These probably £5 at least. So quite very expensive. You have honeycomb, fudge, strawberry, double chocolate, orange and caramel. I love how the Americans say caramel, some caramel. And there's some side images, a side profile for you to browse and purview. So this is what we have under our purview. We have Prince Supreme Jaffa Cakes, Strawberry and Cream Lindor, Orange Lindor and Thornton's Moments. I had some soup for breakfast, just maybe 10-20 minutes, no, not even that I don't think, but very recently, before diving straight into chocolate in case it helps. And I have some tea. Perhaps I should have had some water as well, but yeah, some tea to help. I think tea can be quite good at sort of taking away the taste of chocolates and so on, so as to just diversify your palate and give yourself a break so you don't feel too sick. And it's nice and warm, hot even still. So, my soup has left my tongue long ago, so this is sort of effectively the first thing I'm eating, even if it was only 10-20 minutes ago when I had soup. I feel like my palate is fresh, refreshed even. So because obviously once you start eating something, it dulls your and it's going to be influent. So what should I eat first? I think these are going to in some way have the least flavour, and I kind of know what they taste like. I think the Jaffa Cakes are the most curious. I think I should start with them, get the most out of them before all the chocolate starts to taste the same or what's not. So is that E.Reddle, the new guy, or rather the brand belongs to? So it looks like they have a more hardy exterior, but I wish you could smell it. They smell really nice. They smell there's a very inviting aroma that's imploring you to sample. So 10, yep, looks like 10. For maybe just over £1, maybe. So quite expensive, very expensive actually. I guess. Oh, I like the insignia. Nice. That's very nice. Slightly off-centered. Not that I mind. Just picking up on the what's it? Looks like it's going to be a harder chocolate sponge. Raspberry sponge. Well, chocolate and raspberry. Okay. Now it is a hot day, but the sponge is it's immediately one is reminded of an expired cake. It's extremely dry and an obstacle to the quite delightful Turkish delights like a sponge. It's very strange. I am quite partial to Turkish delights now and again. And, I mean, there really are two halves. Don't get me wrong with the traditional McVitie's Jaffa Cake and Asda branded Smart Price, and they're all made by McVitie's anyway, but the different brands. The sponge is never. kind of an obstacle. Anyway, it's part of the classic Jaffa Cake setup, and I love cakes in general, but with Jaffa Cake, it's all about the chocolate. But here the sponge really is a tiresome sort of obstacle and obstruction. It's completely lifeless, but it's contrasted immediately as he bites down upon the chocolateness that encapsulated within the chocolate and the sponge is that very Turkish delights like offering, very refreshing, particularly on a hot day. So I don't know if this packet was a bit just because of the heat or whatever, because somehow became a bit expired, but it's a different Jaffa Cake, and it has nice components. Obviously not as financially rewarding. As the standard brand, the Smart Price brand of Jaffa Cakes, they're very similar in terms of the sponge. It's very dry, and even the chocolate has sort of given up on itself. But the Blue Box as the brand, where you get, I think, about a nice £39 for a pound, I think. They are very nice. I like them as much as the McVitie's standard McVitie's brand. And so these probably £1.50 for 10 Jaffa Cakes. That's a massive contrast. But the raspberry Turkish delight offering is very it's satisfying, but I don't know how to. It really is two halves. You have a sponge which does nothing at all, even by a McVitie Jaffa Cake standards. The sponge is just wrinkly and dried up, and but there's the chocolate that's very and unfortunately I don't think you can break them apart. Obviously I wouldn't waste a sponge, but I don't think you can eat the chocolate in one go so easily. With McVitie's Jaffa Cakes you can actually break them apart easily. But it wasn't hard, which is good, because obviously with my jaw I have to be careful. It's a bit tiring to eat, but it's something different. It's something different. Let's go to strawberries and cream. I don't think these will be my favourite, but they're Lindor. I think they will give it a good go. I think. Will they disappoint me? The orange one I can see being my preferred out of the two, but yes, white chocolate. Did I actually read what's it before eating? But yeah. Highly meltable, keep cool. I should have said they have all of these products were in the fridge, so that will influence taste, of course. So as to keep them in their prime state as much as possible. That already feels like too much chocolate, but I guess because it's high quality. Very rich, very hard again from the fridge, but maybe I should save the orange to last so I don't end up dislocating my jaw. I can appreciate the combination white chocolate and strawberries and cream, but I don't know. My feeling is that there's a sensation of having all this flavour delivered, the strawberries, the cream, and the white chocolate, and you're waiting for something beyond that. That's sort of like a distraction, but that is the whole package. So there's nothing beyond it. There's sort of an effort to just okay, we're taking this hit from all of these flavours, and then we need to find the actual sustenance, but there isn't any. Excuse me, but yeah, I don't know. They're not awful at all, and maybe as they soften up a bit, I will enjoy even more. But let's move to Thornton's now. I'd love to share. So what's this one I randomly... That's fudge, I hope. Oh, it's orange, funnily enough. I can't avoid the orange. So it should be a standard sort of... what should we compare it to? Let's find out. Mmm. Mmm. A little gritty, but I saw the build of Sean McAuliffe, and he's talking about Your Generation Endgame with Tina Arena. He said she was making gritty sandwiches or sand or something. Let's try fudge, because I am a bit of a fudge connoisseur. I like to believe. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, mm. One of the reasons I was wanted to try fudge, not just because I like fudge, but because as you get your traditional chunks and tablets type fudges and whatnot, but then like with Cadbury fudge is quite a different. To me, it's nothing like fudge. Some people like it, that's fine, but so I was wondering, would this? It's sort of like a compromise. At first, it's very flavourful, very tender. And these were in the fridge, but it's already it's very tender. It's a very delicate recipe, very soft and quite flavourful. But then there's this great reminder of Cadbury's fudge, which I'm not keen on. So there's this just sort of simple sweetness as an aftertaste, before and aftertaste even, sort of the final deliverance. So not an awful fudge, but not quite the fudge I was hoping for. It was the fudge I deserved, not the fudge I needed. I wanted. He was the hero he deserved, not the hero he wanted. So that you can see the image there. It was interesting. Let's try honeycomb next. It should be blue, and it's conveniently hidden. It wants me to try another orange. Oh, a double chocolate, but I'd like to try a honeycomb, please. I feel like I'm putting my hand into Bertie Bott's what was it from Harry Potter? Bertie Bott's all flavoured beans, because the way Dumbledore said, I don't know what's going on with mine. I haven't watched that film a long time, but the way he dug into the Bertie Bott's all flavoured beans, but suddenly my mind is fishing. First it was the what was it earlier? I can't remember. My short-term memory is going, but my long-term memory, so they're fishing things out from left, right and centre, things from decades ago. When did I last see Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone? Even clips on YouTube, I don't think I've seen in over 2 years or something. Excuse me. It's a great film, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. It really set the tone, also it focuses on the magic in such an innocent way, like the book. There's such a great focus on love, and the I suppose sort of went to adventure and then action. And adventure is brilliant, and then action can be good, but then I think they sort of lost some of the original attraction. But they still have good stories. But let's try Honeycomb. Hopefully it's not too hard. Mm. 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 Kind of like a very mild Cadbury's Crunchy. As anyone overseas or whatever is not familiar with Crunchy, so Cadbury's are very very hard. You have to the only way you can eat it is to melt it in a salt. No, I'm just joking, but it's very hard. It's a very hard treat. It's probably how I broke my jaw. How I came to have a broken jaw eating crunch as a child. Yeah, I remember I used to get these. No, I'm pretty sure they still sell them, but probably triple, quadruple the price now. But um, selection packs, and so you'd have fudge, curly whirly, crunchy, dairy milk buttons, maybe a caramel bar sometimes, or a flat animal bar, or that type of that. Two types of animal bars. There's ones with the foils and the ones with the what's it? But I'm thinking of the more rectangular offering. Um, so Curly Whirly and Crunchy were the ones who always struggled with. Curly Whirly, if you've ever tried, I don't even know what it's made from, but it's not chocolate. I think it's supposedly some sort of caramel. I think if I'm trawling through my memories of horror trying to eat one, and obviously that's the reason I was eating, because I didn't want to seem ungrateful. So I've got that's great, thank you very much. But so I try to enjoy them, but just speaking strategically, it was a battle to try and eat the curly whirly and crunchy, having weak jaw and teeth. There was the curly whirly just never ended. The more you ate, the more elongated it became, or the greater its mass became. It just would never end. And the crunchy, you had to sort of melt it in the furnace of hell or something, just to have a fighting chance of eating it. So you've got that you know what's coming straight away, but to bite you have to bite into the chocolate that's sort of there to seduce first timers and think it's just going to be chocolate, it's just going to be chocolate, and then you hit this massive honeycomb, and then there's chocolate on the other side, of course, as well. So it's a deception. I don't know. It just seems an exercise in trying to give everyone a jaw disorder. I don't know why it's so hard. I mean, I understand the recipe, but the makings of the recipe, but I'm sure they could make a milder version. But yeah, so because it's so wide, you really, like I say, it's practically giving you TMJD, because you have to put that amount of pressure on your jaw. It's going to be hard and clenching for such a while. But yeah, so that was crunchy was a challenge. But yeah, no, that Thornton's honeycomb equivalent, much milder, and you've got the taste of honeycomb, but it's not too overpowering. And I suppose it's the heat already. Despite being in the fridge, not that long ago, the heat is already having an effect maybe, but it was much milder. Yeah, I thought it's actually one of those log car things. I don't know why I'm expecting a bonus points for guessing that, which I felt with my hands, and so I knew that it was there. So, but I feel good having worked that out. Well, that's mystery. Yeah, I've had something very similar to these as a child. Probably Prince's Bride. May have changed the recipe. The I don't think there are these some honeycomb colour or some. Looks like a Cyberman. Look at that. That's a Cyberman. Look? I swear that's a Cyberman. Are they using Doctor Who images without the license of Beavers? It's supposed to be a prince. That's a Cyberman. That's not a prince. What are you talking about? A Cyberman with 3 breasts and an arm which is going through their chest. Their knees have been segmented. There's some insignia, a new insignia of the Cyberman. A P, which you'd think would stand for Prince, but of course we know this is a Cyberman, so it should be a C. That's we need to edit that with a pen. So Chocolate Cyberman. That's a Cyberman. That's not a Prince. Is there a colour image on the thing? Oh, here it now. They've gone a much more detailed image there on the its front. That's a Cyberman. That's not a what's it? That's a Cyberman. Oh well, let's eat the Cyberman's head. Mm. 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 Eating just half just half is effort on a day like today. They're so dry, so dry. I know I kept them in the fridge, and I suppose I wasn't meant to, but just thinking, oh, I've got chocolate and store them in the fridge. But yeah, I remember these well, eating loads as a child, which probably explains so much. But that's where I got my creative energy from, my spontaneous mindset and sporadic nature. Yeah, interesting. There's not really any chocolate. I mean, it's there. It's obviously layered between the exceptionally dry biscuit. I'm disappointed in you, Cyberman, Mondasian Spark Cyberman. You now have half a body, and that's what will happen. The rest of you shall soon be devoured. The rest of you shall soon be devoured as well. I need to go back to sleep. The rest of you shall soon be devoured as well. But it's a strange chocolate paste. It's oh my gosh! Do you remember peanut butter and chocolate spread? That's what I was going to say. Peanut butter and chocolate spread. As a child, someone thought, "Oh, let's treat the kids with peanut butter and chocolate spread." Don't you mean torture? Peanut butter, I think I tried once or twice, and I mean the smell alone is off body. And then chocolate spread, I wish I was confused. Forgive me, but at one point I sort of almost, I found one almost enticing. I think, almost acceptable, but never again. It's just something so insidious about chocolate spread and peanut butter. They are the glazings of a devil. They are. This is. I mean, the taste-wise, this isn't anything like chocolate spread. Chocolate spread is evil, pure evil. It's formed within the within around the chasms of hell, and but it's just very dry. It's just something you ate as a child, but these biscuits, but there's no real taste or flavour. They're just dry and forging Doctor Who images without a license. I shall be emailing Prince about their unorthodox behaviour. But yeah, be interesting though. Mm. See there he's made out to be a prince, but on mine he looks nothing like a prince. Looks like a Cyberman. Yeah, so does the next one. It's like that's to get past the BBC license copyright protectors, and then when you actually open a package, you find, hey, there's someone dashing Cyberman. If that is not a Cyberman, then I will eat my bandana and my hat. But yeah, very dry. I wonder if I can get my housemates to help me devour them. And my neighbours. Everybody needs good neighbours. Come together, and I can't remember the rest of the lyrics. Good neighbours become good friends. I hope our neighbours become good friends. They're nice people. Everyone always seems to have, there's a good side and a dark side, because the other side we haven't spoken. There's no civil war or civil independence movement or something. We just don't seem to cross paths on it. we don't. They don't talk to us. We don't talk to them, and that's sad. I never really see them though. But the other side, they after moving in, they needed help with different things, and so a dialogue becomes established and whatnot. But the other side, I hardly see them. I think they're a bit secretive. They're probably the kinds of people who make these biscuits. So I'm not judging. Someone makes these biscuits, and it gives them a job. It gives them something to do. Keeps them out of trouble. What is this purple thing I'm supposed to be eating? Double chocolate, I think. I know. Caramel. Caramel. That was caramel. That was your typical caramel. That's pretty good. Or caramel. A nice caramel. Now I need strawberry. Did I try orange? I don't think I did. Orange is helpfully orange. Imagine if they tricked you and orange was purple. You had one job, make sure orange was wrapped inside an orange sweet. How dare you defy us. Strawberry. Just remembered I haven't eaten the Lindor orange yet. I was thinking I was on to the last items, but it's not just yet. Well, last batch of items, yeah. But that strawberry, Thornton strawberry. At first, I was thinking this is a standard strawberry treat, and then suddenly there was a sort of like a removal of a dam. There was a flooding of strawberryness and freshness and sort of fluidity, and then it became overflowing, really flavourful. So that's a nice one, especially after eating all that chocolate. Even though it contains chocolate itself, it's a nice one to reawaken your senses and diversify your palate a little. Double chocolate. That double chocolate, you may have heard my jaw snap. There's a bit even with the heat softening up its texture. It's very still quite a solid offering. That's very just a standard mix of white and darker chocolate really. Let's try this orange offering before moving on to Lindor orange. Mm. A little biscuity, little almost crunchy, just a typical orange scent, your orange centric scent and taste. What would I compare it to? There's something very familiar, but it's just your typical orange tree. This may well taste very similar. Yeah, more flavour and more of an attack on the senses with these very liquid form, orangey apparent, which sort of swims its way to your senses. Nothing greatly defining, just I mean, it's the chocolate that has the richness, I suppose, but it's an interesting recipe. I think the Jaffa cake strangely may be my favourite, despite the very dry sponge. But definitely not the biscuits, the Cyberman, the plagiarised trademark infringing Prince. He should be ashamed of himself, Prince Slayer of copyright infringement laws. He's the strawberry and cream were okay. Orange were okay. Granted, these were last. Obviously, I'm feeling full on my senses, my taste buds are turning themselves off, and my stomach is saying no. So obviously, it's a bit prejudice. It's finding itself in a sort of prejudiced position because you're predisposed now to want less chocolate, however it tastes. But the orange were okay. The orange in here was okay. The strawberry in here was very good, I think. Okay, and quite okay anyway. Caramel was just so. Double chocolate was just so. Fudge was okay. The honeycomb was okay, considering it was honeycomb. It wasn't too bad. But the Jaffa cakes, the nice raspberry aroma, the fairly satisfying chocolate. I think I may have to eat another one just to see how they taste, because I have a shorter term memory today. But I will see you when you see it. I see you next. I will see you when I see you next, and I hope you enjoyed this video and enjoy the weather as much as you can, however you can, and stay safe, and I will see you whenever I see you. So thank you for the cheese.